Hey guys, Dustin from Project 85 here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a mount for the Elgato Stream Deck to mount to my Ripmotech RS500 sim rig. Now I did use the original mount that came with it, and I just didn't like it. It's great for on your desk if you put it there, but for a sim rig it's not sturdy enough. It falls off, all that nonsense. So we're going to search the interwebs today and see what we can find to make using my 3D printer. So this should be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so we are going to search the interwebs and see what we can find to 3D print. We're going to head over to a website called Thingiverse. So if you don't know what Thingiverse is, if you're not very familiar with 3D printing, what it is a repository for literally an astronomical amount of 3D models that you can print yourself. I use it for everything, and I've been printing probably maybe 6-7 months now. I got my printer back in April or March, I don't remember. And literally anything that I can think of, I'll just be sitting around thinking, you know what, I need a flower pot. Let me look on there, and then I'll go and I'll find something and I'll print it. So what we're gonna do, since we're looking for some sort of mount for the Elgato Stream Deck, we're just gonna type in Stream Deck. Sometimes using less is more for these comes up because some people just don't they don't tag the right things. Alright, let's see what we got here. Anything good. So I want something that can mount to my rig. I don't need anything flat. No. Stream Deck rig mount. Oh, it even says rig mount in the name. Let's take a look at this. Okay, I like that. Couple of screws. So I'm gonna need to get some hardware. Okay, I can deal with that. Faceplate. Looks like a little angle mount bracket. The base. These are just stock photos that the uploader puts on so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Okay, yeah, let's download this, check it out. Okay, downloaded. Let's go ahead and just batch open. So what this does is these open up into a program that I use called Cura. It essentially takes this 3D model that someone's made in CAD, or it's probably gonna take a minute. Makes in CAD, or there's a few other ones. Blender, that's the one that I tend to model in if I need to model something or edit something I find. And then it essentially takes it and slices it down to layers. So you can see right here, this would be printed in 23 layers. And you can scroll through them so you can see exactly what it's going to print. So it looks like to me this is the faceplate. I don't particularly like printing with the face down. You can see that I guess this would be the part where the Stream Deck sits into. So let's spin this around. I like to print with face up, that way the printer can make a nice finished edge. It makes things look a little bit better. So I would do that right there. I like that. Okay, let's see what else. Alright, we got the mounting bracket. It looks like this mounts to like an 80-20 rig. I don't have an 80-20 rig, but I'm sure I can make it work. Same thing, I wouldn't print this particular way. I'd spin it a little bit. Not that way. That's not how you spin it. Let's do x-axis. There we go. Yeah, nope. I still wouldn't even do it like that. I would do... No, why do I keep holding the wrong thing? Green. There we go. Yeah, I would print something like that. That way you get this nice and clean, and then these angles turn out pretty nice when you do it that way too. So, all right, let's see what we got next. The base, or main holder, whatever you want to call it. All right, so it looks like we got a bunch of adjustability. That way we can angle it if we need to. I like that. A little channel for the cable to go in. That's a little bit hard to print right there, but it shouldn't be an issue. But ultimately, I like the way that is sitting. That's what it would look like when you go to... So 118 layers to make that right there. It's not too bad. But almost 8 hours to print. I tend to print really slow. That way it turns out, because the slower you go, the better it looks. All right. And last but not least, so it looks like here's that adjustable bracket. I wouldn't print this flat like that either. Structurally, it would print fine and it would look good, but it would not hold up to any stress. I'll show you why. Not that really should be stress bearing, but you can see that when it prints and it hits that, it starts building up to these pieces. That is, they're just small. It's only 3 layers of 3 layers, you know, 3 lines of connecting material. And if you squeeze it too much, it'll break. So if you were to squeeze, let me blow this back up. If you were to, you know, when you tighten this bolt down, when you tighten the bolt down that goes through there, these would tend to pull together, obviously, because you're tightening it up. So it would split this apart right here. So what I would do, and I definitely learned this by trial and error, you flip it up like this. That way when you print it, this piece now is solid and connected all the way to the base. Like this doesn't, it won't just break off, because this right here is part of it. You know, the tab right here is part of the base. It's a lot more structurally sound. I've definitely broken a lot of things by accident printing that way, thinking it would be better, but it doesn't. It's not. So that's not too bad. 2 hours to print. Can do that. All right, so yeah, we're gonna take this and we're gonna go ahead and print these 4 pieces and try to make a new mount for the sim rig. We're gonna start with printing the main base. Printing these out of a carbon fiber PLA, which is essentially a plastic material that's infused with carbon fiber. There's a couple advantages to using this type of material. One is, since it's infused with carbon fiber, it's a little bit stronger than your typical PLA. And second, it is a little bit more expensive, but with that, it prints really, really nice. Next up, we're gonna print the faceplate. This print is the most important to me because I like the face to look really good. Sometimes prints can be extremely difficult to get off the printing deck. It's better to be careful getting them off rather than just ripping them off there and wasting 4 hours of print time. Last thing is printing the connecting bracket and then the support bracket. These 4 prints took about 16 hours to finish up. Now that we have everything printed, we can go ahead and start assembling the mount for the Stream Deck. So let's go over everything we're going to need to put this thing together. First and foremost, we're going to need the printed pieces. I have a hardware kit full of metric bolts, 1/4-inch bolt to mount things together, a small ratchet with a 2mm Allen on it, Phillips head screwdriver, small pair of pliers, 1/4-inch ratchet with a 11mm socket, aka 7/16, and a small impact. So let's go ahead and set everything aside and then get going. So let's get started mounting or bolting the two pieces together that mount to the rig. We're going to use the 1/4 inch hardware that we brought. Ratchet and screwdriver. We'll go ahead and loosely tighten it up. Just snug. We'll make some adjustments once we get it on the rig. Now we can bolt this piece to the main base that holds the Stream Deck. Now I've already separated the M3 hardware we're going to need for essence of time and me sorting through bolts. So for these we're going to use, they look about 10mm long. World's tiniest washers. And 4 nuts. So let's feed the bolts through the base. We're just going to mount this in a just straight orientation. No angling or anything. If we need to make any adjustments later, we can do that. See if we can fit all of these on here. Boom, first try. Alright, let's go ahead and put the baby washers on. Start this nut so it doesn't fall off. Just get it started and we'll tighten it up with some tools. Alright, get the pliers and small ratchet. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Don't want to crank down too hard because it is, oh no, one fell off. Because it still is plastic, even though it is infused with carbon fiber, it still will crush. It's not solid. There's a fill, I guess you call it, in there. Here you go. That's bolted together. Now we can install the Stream Deck and go ahead and put the faceplate on. Now let's take our Stream Deck and put it in. Oops. Let's feed the cable through. The UBS cable. Let's take the faceplate, put it on. Now the instructions on Thingiverse said to drill and tap. I don't really like to drill and tap bolts that small into the plastic. It just ends up messing up the plastic and reaming out the hole, and then you just can't tighten it down. So what we're gonna do is use that impact to just drive them in, and they'll make their own threads. It'll be fine. Get the impact. The 2mm tip out of the ratchet. And we're not going to crank it down all the way. We're just going to use this to be able to run it in pretty, not super fast, but faster and straighter than you could with the ratchet. I'll end up tightening it up with the ratchet. All right. And there you go. Nice, pretty professional looking way to mount your Stream Deck. Like I said, this looks like it's for well, it is, obviously, it's for an 80/20 or 80/40 type rig, but we are going to just make it work on my Rikmatech RS500. So with that being said, now that we're done the assembly portion, Let's go to the sim rig and mount it on there. Alright, we're at the install stage. Now we're going to be installing this on my Ricmotech RS500 rig that I built about 2 months ago. But first, let's go over the tools we're going to use to put this thing on here. First, drill with 1/4" bit, Phillips head screwdriver, and a small ratchet to tighten it down. Also, I've got some 1/4" hardware, a fender washer, and about a 3" bolt and a 1/4" nut. So let's go ahead and line this up where we're going to put it. I think I'm going to mount it about right here. That way I can have it on this side, because eventually I'm going to build a button box and we're going to put it over here. And I'd like my left hand to be able to control the computer or system or whatever I set this to. So why don't we take apart the hardware. And I need to be able to mount this back far enough that way it gets some meat on here. We're actually going to drill it from the bottom up because I want to make sure the fender washer fits good underneath here. If we drill it too close to the side, we won't be able to fit the fender washer on. So we're gonna do that. Line up the washer, put it in the hole. Move that out of the way. Vacuum up your mess, because we're not dirty human beings and we like to keep our workspace clean. Alright, 1/4" bolt through our hole. Now what did I do with, there we go. That's the sock. And the nut, found it. Feed it through, put the washer on the bottom side, and the nut. Of course, this thing's giving me trouble threading on. Anyway. Okay. Phillips and ratchet. Let's go ahead and get it at least a little bit snug, and then we can adjust it. It's actually pretty solid. I'll rotate it a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I dig that. Let's tighten it up a little bit more. Yeah, that's real solid. I like that. That looks good. We'll run this underneath. I won't plug it up just yet. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I like it. And there you have it, a 3D printed Stream Deck mount. I think it turned out pretty good. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about using 3D technology to print things for your sim rig, and what you thought about this particular video making a mount for the Elgato Stream Deck. If you liked the video, found it informative, learned something, or maybe even got inspired to build something yourself, give the video a like and definitely subscribe to the channel for more, because I have more things coming out just like this. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.